You like scoundrels? You like bounty hunters? I've got the man for you. Look over here. The modding series, we are back, Battalion. It is that time, and I've got a champion. They call him Clash 2.0, or maybe I just do, but whatever. This guy knows scoundrels. He knows bounty hunters. This guy is taking out things he shouldn't, like he almost killed Kenobi. He came this close killing Cat Kenobi with his bounty hunters. Freaking amazing. And he's going to figure it out because he theory crafts like absolute crazy. So, Vancele, introduce yourself, sir.
My name is Vancele. I stream on Twitch. I have a YouTube channel that's growing like a weed, according to Fortmort.
Yes, it is, actually.
And today we're going to be talking about some bounty hunters, going over some modding. We're going to go over their kits, and I'll give you guys my kind of like quick rundown on, you know, how to get the maximum efficiency out of these characters.
Bounty hunters, you guys know with this series, I try to do everything as give you the most versatile character possible. I'm going to give you the versatility. Vancele's going to give you, he's got a huge account. He's going to give you the upper echelon way to handle bounty hunters. And like we talked about behind the scenes, there are so many ways to counter different things, but you've got to mod specifically. I go with versatility. He does as well, but if he needs to do something specific, he can do that as well. So that's what his channel is amazing for. If you need a specific counter, how to mod him, how to deal with him, that's this guy right here. But for today, we're going to talk about the kit and the modding as we do normally. So let's go ahead and get started, guys. Let me put up your visual for you. And I've got the wrong one up there. Absolutely fabulous. All right, time for the quick pause, guys. There is your Bossk visual. My bad. All right, so let's start off. I want to go through the kit, and Vancele can correct me where I'm wrong, because I'm often wrong. I'm just wrong. Basic, deal physical damage to target enemy. If the target is the weakest enemy, this attack deals double damage and is guaranteed to critically hit. Not really. This guy isn't a damage dealer. He's one of the lowest in the game, right, Vancele? So it's not really critical.
Yeah, honestly, you don't need to worry about this ability. You're not killing anybody with this basic.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Deal physical damage on his second ability to target enemy and stun them for 1 turn. I do enjoy the stun. Call all other bounty hunter allies to assist, dealing 60% less damage. If the target is the weakest enemy, this is a key point. If the target is the weakest enemy, reduce all assisting bounty hunter ally cooldowns by 1. This is a good ability. What's your take?
Really good. For this ability, the key thing is you have to know who the weakest character is. Typically, the word weakest will flash red. It's very quickly. It flashes very quickly at the start of Bossk's turn.
Really?
But keep in mind, if you can't get to that person, like let's say there's a taunt in the way, you could just make that person with the taunt the weakest character by damaging them.
Right.
So wait till Bossk's next turn, and if, let's say like there's a character, the weakest character is stealth, you just can't get them. Just make someone else the weakest character.
Great,
you know what I mean? Just bend the rules a little bit and just do that.
The Night Sisters with the taunt there. Usually, I just wear down the zombie in order to get my contract through that.
Perfect example.
For the cooldowns, who actually benefits? Do you know from the cooldown standpoint by him reducing them?
Every bounty hunter that assists during that call to assist, as long as it's the weakest character. So everybody, it's just. I mean, you're reducing everyone's cooldowns by 1. That's pretty. It's pretty nuts, honestly.
Good answer. Let's see. Is Predator Instincts? Bossk dispels all debuffs on himself, recovers 50% health, then gains Frenzy and Taunt for 3 turns. All bounty hunter allies gain offense for 1 turn. This is usually a decision maker. Do I assist or do I taunt? That depends on who you're going against, right?
It depends on who you're going against, who's on your team. Typically, if you have Grief, another really fast bounty hunter on the team, you can taunt, and then, you know, hopefully your Grief is very speedy like your Bossk, and he'll go next, and then you can use his call to assist to trigger Bossk's Frenzy. That way you can do back-to-back call to assist. But typically, if you don't have anyone fast, yeah, you would just do the call. You just do the mass assist as opposed to taunting.
I love that you brought up Grief, because Grief is going to be one of the 5 or 6 bounty hunters that we do in this series, guys. All right, this is his Zetas, right? The bottom 2, Notion, Rage, and Bossk Payout. So going to the, I usually do it this way. Bossk has plus 50% defense and plus 50% max health, while he has Taunt and gains 50% offense and 50% health steal while attacking a buffed enemy. If you add the Zeta, you get when Bossk loses Taunt, he gains it again if the weakest enemy has protection. So annoying.
Really good Zeta. especially in 3v3. You definitely notice it in 3v3. I know we don't have 3v3 now, but it's until we get confirmation that's never coming back again. This is one of those Zetas that really shines in that game mode because he's always taunting and
Always.
he gains all those defense bonuses when he's taunting.
Such a good character, and we're going to get into why shortly. Here is the second one. Whenever boss receives... Oh, wait, did I skip one? No, that's right. Oh,
The lead.
Yep, there it is. There's the lead. Sorry. All bounty hunters gain plus 50% max protection. This is huge. And 50% tenacity. All bounty hunter allies gain 100% defense while at full health. Think about that, guys. 100% defense is amazing right now. Whenever an enemy suffers a debuff or resist, all bounty hunter allies recover 5% health or protection. That's where they're always constantly getting health back and protection. When Bossk is in the leader slot and not the ally slot, the following contract is active. Deal damage to the weakest enemy 10 times in order to activate, and then reward all bounty hunter allies gain plus 50 speed for the rest of the battle. So when you get that contract, so key.
Yeah, no, the lead that's honestly probably one of the better leads, I think, for early game players because it's just such a flexible lead, and it also isn't very restrictive. So as long as your enemy is getting a debuff, you're healing. So you can run a non-bounty hunter character on your team like Nest, and she can heal your team with that AoE. Or if you're going up against Darth Revan, it's really funny, Darth Revan versus Bossk, because Darth Revan heals Bossk.
Yep.
Because they're just throwing ferocity out.
Yep.
So it's not restrictive.
I learned that the hard way. It is so aggravating. But that's also what makes them a really good counter for that as well. You know, everybody's seeing now that you can take out DR if you got a fast enough Bossk. But I like what you said about early game, because Bossk is amazing probably till the... Depending where your roster settles. But yeah, he is the end of time. But for leadership...
He has the best ship in the game, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I don't think that'll ever change either. But for leadership-wise, everybody's using Bossk 90% of the time and Django the rest. That's it. When you get into a bigger game and you get at the top end, you're talking about Aura lead. There's so many different characters from the bounty hunters that have really good leadership. So, yeah, it's good stuff. And then his payout, whenever Bossk receives a reward from contract, he also gains the following payout. Bossk recovers 5% health and protection at the start of his turn, and half that much whenever another bounty hunter ally starts their turn. This guy is so freaking good. So good.
Yeah. And 5% may not seem like a whole lot, but when you look at Frenzy and he's taking all these extra turns and everyone else is taking all these extra turns and they're healing 2.5% on their turns, he may be like, at 0 protection, and then like a couple seconds later he may be back at full. It gets out of hand pretty quickly.
I cannot tell you how many times I had him at 70% health with no protection. All of a sudden, whoop, he's full. And it's just so aggravating. Dengar throws bombs. He heals all the way up. Oh my God, it's so crazy. So let's go over this right now. So for me, guys, when I'm talking about Bossk at under 6 million, somewhere in that range, I'm a big fan of putting protection on the circle, protection on the triangle, speed on the arrow. This guy's got to be fast. He has got to be fast. I don't care what level you're at. The faster your boss, the better you are. The cross can go a couple of different ways. Tenacity, protection. You can actually look at the way I've got it in modded him right now. I've got him with speed and tenacity mods. I tried to put more tenacity on my guy, but if you look at the mod types in my visual aid up there, you've got speed and health is the most popular, speed and tenacity, or even speed and defense. There are so many ways to mod this guy, especially at the lower levels. And then secondary, speed, health and protection, defense, tenacity, and then a little bit of potency doesn't hurt as well because you can land that stun. He's a really, really good character. And I'm going to show you what the community does. This is actually on swagad.gg. Speed and health mods are the most popular at 28%, followed by speed and tenacity, defense and speed, and then health, which I don't understand this bottom 5% whatsoever. The most popular triangle is protection. The most popular cross is protection. The most popular circle is protection. And then the arrow is speed. Why? And I already know the answer, but why is protection the most popular?
Protection is the most popular because it's in his mastery. Okay, his mastery is armor, health, steal, and protection. So, when you start to put really heavy relic investments on a character, and what I consider a heavy relic investment is anything past 5. you really start to notice significant stat changes.
Yep.
Like absolutely insane stat changes. Bossk was actually my first Relic 9, and if Relic 10 came out tonight, he would be my first Relic 10. He is an absolute beast of a character, quite literally. And like I said, he just has the best shit. But protection is so important because of that protection and health regeneration. I mean, that protection pool is almost bottomless sometimes. So you might as well make it as big as you can.
And his leadership, he gets 50% max protection as well. So that's a humongous buff. Humongous buff. So my guy's sitting here at Relic 5 at 80,000. He's jumping directly to 120. And if anybody knows Bossk, when you're attacking that guy, if you can get through his protection, you can usually take him down pretty quickly. But getting through that protection is a brick freaking wall. Absolute wall. All right, let me bring this up real quick. So looking at this, guys, there we go. He's the most common lead at the lower levels, like we talked about earlier. But Zeta Priority, I want to talk about that. I'm a huge fan of his leader Zeta. I'm also a huge fan of his second. So for my recommendation, leadership is a must, and that second Zeta is highly, 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 highly recommended.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I agree. You have to do both. Yeah. You have to do both. When I see people that don't have the second Zeta, they don't think they need it. Like, you know, you may not get benefits out of it every battle, but it is a good Zeta. It is a really good Zeta, and you're also adding speed to Houndstooth too. So why not?
Relic Priority. I do this at a rating from 1 to 10 on every character, and I got him listed as an absolute 10.
Yeah, absolutely. You can take him as high as you can, and there is no drawback.
Yep. He's got a huge ship, like you mentioned a minute ago, the best ship in the game. And the more you put on him, the more you invest into him. Like, I've got 3 of the gold mods here. I need to actually do 3 more, but I'm looking for better mods for the investment. The better that ship becomes. And that thing is an absolute monster. And it's so funny because it's probably the only ship in the game that actually acts like its character. I love this with the bonus protection and everything else. This guy is insane.
And even when Executor does end up getting a counter and that fleet ends up, you know, not becoming as good, but however long that it's going to be, Houndstooth is still going to be Houndstooth. You can throw that ship on any fleet, and it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. So
if you can't land buff immunity or healing immunity on him, you're screwed.
Yeah.
And there are very few ships that actually do that. You guys need to learn to ship harder. We talk about it all the time. Speed minimum goal, guys, for me, depending on where you're at. Obviously, it's so hard to say what speed this guy should be at. I put it at a speed minimum goal of 270 for anybody that's running over 3 million, and then it just goes up with your as you get higher in GP on your account, because you want your boss to be fast. What would you say is the standard for a relic level you want to take out somebody like DR?
So I agree with what you said about, you know, speeds being different at different levels of the game. So usually what I like to tell people is your boss should always be 1 to 5 speed faster than your grief.
Good point.
If you can do that, then your ceiling becomes how fast your team is. So as long as you have the right turn order, you can pretty much take out a lot of teams, almost every team minus GLs and gas kind of. But to get to that DR level, you just need to get the speed on both of those characters. And then that's kind of what your threshold and your ceiling becomes. But in terms of an actual number, I say if you're an endgame, if you consider yourself an endgame player, your boss should be around 330. Now, 330 and up.
This question is going to come up because it already has. Why 5 speed faster than grief?
So I like to have a small window between Bossk and grief. I like mine to be 1 speed. If you can do 1 speed, you don't have to worry about your opponent accidentally going in between them and interrupting your turn order. So like I mentioned before, if you have grief on your team and he's very fast, you can taunt with grief to get frenzy on Bossk, and then grief will do his call to assist to trigger Bossk's frenzy, and then he can immediately take another turn to do another call to assist. And then if you have Mando on that team, you're generating turn meter for your team for free, and you know, regardless on the bounty hunter lead, you're kind of just going crazy.
In certain situations, you're already a contract with them to assist, right?
Correct. Yeah. And if you're running, you know, some of the higher end bounty hunters like Sign of Django, or Fennec, who hit multiple times on their basics,
Yep.
you can get contract with one call to assist from Bossk.
I saw that. I saw that in one of your videos. That's freaking amazing. You guys, the bounty hunters are my favorite faction. That's what I actually love hanging out with Vancele. He's a cool guy too, but I love me some bounty hunters. They are the most versatile crew out there in this game, in my opinion. So I love watching this. These are one of my favorites. Such a good faction and so versatile. You can change them more than any other faction, modding wise, gear wise. It is such a cool faction. Love it. Any other tips for Bossk before we call it quits on Bosker?
No, just kind of like what I was saying. If you're an endgame player, keep your Bossk around 330. Mid game 300, and if you're a newer player, he's a very fast character already.
Yep.
If you're a newer player, get him around the 250, 260 range. But like I said, as long as you follow that formula of him being 1 to 5 speed faster than Grief, you'll be in really good shape, and you'll be taking out a lot stronger teams than you thought you'd be able to.
Guys, make sure you check out his channel. Down below, I'll have it in the comments, so click down below there. I appreciate you, Vancele, for hanging out. He's also going to do the next video with me with Boba Fett, so look forward to that, guys. Vancele, you're the freaking man. 1 battalion strong.
Thank you, man.
You guys are the best. Till next time, don't forget, we're chasing 1,000. We're right behind this guy. We're chasing him. It's a race, me and Vancele. See you guys.
Shut up and sit down.